Hello, it's Brenda Wood, and we are doing another episode of Things by Bren. Today, we are going to talk about drug use, being an addict, and the effects it has on your life. This is Tyler Oxendine joining us today, and he is going to talk about what it's like to be an addict and to recover from that and just the process. Tyler, tell him a little bit about yourself. Specifically, how old were you when you first started using?
Oh wow. When I first started using any substance, I was 7. I started out smoking weed. By the time I got 13, I was on pain pills, opiates and Xanax and whatever I could get my hands on to snort.
Hmm.
By the time I hit 16, I got introduced to cocaine, powder cocaine. And I started snorting it, and it was fun while it lasted. But each drug I just added on, so don't think I quit nothing.
Hmm.
And then by the time I hit 18, like I said, I lost my grandpa. And after I lost Papa, I started smoking crack. And I wanted something better because cocaine weren't doing it no more.
Did you build up a
Uh,
tolerance to it?
oh yeah, yeah. I had a tolerance out of this world because I've always done sheetrock, so I've always made good money.
Hmm.
Well, by the time I hit 20, I was in Newark, New Jersey, and couldn't find no pills. So that's when I started with the heroin, and then crystal meth come into play, and I've done every drug possible. So
How
yeah,
easy is it to get drugs?
oh, it's simple. Like, because you take yourself with you everywhere you go. You
Hmm.
know, that's one thing you can't change is yourself. You know,
That's
or
a very
you
true
can
statement.
change yourself, but as far as I've been from New Orleans to Vermont, and I found dope everywhere I went. Even when I went to the Bahamas for my honeymoon, I found dope.
Now, when you
Dope is
say
everywhere.
dope, when I was growing up, dope was weed. What is dope?
When I say dope, it's cocaine, heroin, or meth. You know, weeds like kindergarten stuff for me.
Hmm.
So I kind of graduated from that pretty quickly,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Now, you've kind
Yeah,
of done an about face though with your life. You
drug
have the computer is freezing, so it'll come back on. Just when it does, just keep talking.
was it
Tyler,
taking?
what's that? There you go. You're back. Okay, say that
I
again.
didn't catch it.
I said when the computer freezes like
What were you
that,
saying?
when you freeze like that, it'll come back on. So just keep talking, or stop until it comes back on and then it'll pick back up. But Tyler has been a drug user since he was 7, he said. And how old are you now? How,
I'm 26.
okay. And how long have you been sober?
26.
You're 26. And how long have you been sober?
I'm coming up on 2 months.
Okay.
So
Talk to me about that process, what it's like, because I know you've been sober in the past and had relapses.
yeah, I've always tried to do it for somebody else. So I would go to a program, get maybe a week under my belt, and
Mhm.
con my wife to let me come back home. And well, this time I had enough. I finally come for me. And I actually went with the process. I trusted the program, and I've done everything they asked me to do, and it's working. Like before, I was never open to it. And now, like I say, I got a job with staff at Sober Living America. And if you told me this a couple months ago that I'd be working with a rehab treatment center, I told you were full of it.
And this is
Not
your
me.
actual
I'm
job now.
gonna die a junkie.
You have completely gotten away
Yep.
from doing construction and you are now a employee, resident slash whatever you
Yep.
need to do to take care of yourself and a mentor to others there as well.
Yeah. Like I said, we have approximately 47 guys that I deal with. And, you know, it's not only just changing my life. Maybe I can say something that helps one other person.
Hmm.
And if I can't help but one other person, maybe they can say something to help one other person. And then the word gets out. And I'm grateful to be recovering. I never beat this disease. I'm always gonna have it, you know, but I can say I can work on it every day, and I can do. I know what I'm gonna do today. That's hit the sober pillow. Tomorrow is another day. We're not promised tomorrow, but
True.
like like I say, I'm not living in the sanity no more that I was living in. Shooting up and running and gunning and chasing dope when I
Mhm.
should have been spending time with my kids.
Right.
But shoulda,
And
coulda,
that's true.
woulda. I can't get that back. The money I've spent. But like I say, I'm grateful for recovery. And to anybody that's watching this, it's possible. You can recover. Don't let nobody tell you no different.
Is it a
Cause
mindset?
I ain't got.
Is it a
Yeah,
mindset?
it's a mindset.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's a mindset. Cause you can have that mindset where it's not going to work, and it won't work. But if you go in with an open heart and open mind, like I'm ready to do whatever, because you're desperate. We call it Hail Mary prayers.
Hmm.
When you're in that drunken stupor or you're going through withdrawals, and you say, you pray to God, please get me out of it one more time, and you go right back to it. You know, you need to pray to Him like you were praying then. Even when you're sober. I pray to God every day.
So
When I
let's
get up
talk.
in the morning, I read 86 through 88 in the big book. So,
Mhm. And you're working the AA program and you're
yeah,
helping
that's a
other people
12-step
through that,
program.
right? And talk to me about what it's like when you give it up and you're contemplating using again. So you're what's that like? What goes through your mind? What's the process?
Well, oh God, like for me, I can't detox at home,
Hmm.
like, because it's not going to work, and trying to detox at home cold turkey sucks. So, my suggestion to anybody who's trying to detox or go through a detox is admit yourself to the hospital,
That's good advice.
because
Let the professionals help you.
in North Carolina, we got a third floor,
Hmm.
which is the mental psychiatric, mental ward. And I put myself there because I know I can't leave there. I know I can't get out there. So, and that was the only way I could do it. And as far as the withdrawals, I went through withdrawals for like 7 days where I couldn't walk, I couldn't do nothing but twitch. Heroin withdrawals are bad.
Hmm.
It's the worst. I've done everything, and that's my kryptonite.
Hmm.
And for a while, I never thought I'd see. I didn't know what sober was. And now that I am sober, I'm truly enjoying it. When I come here, I was 100 pounds. I'm 170 in like 40 some days. I already got a
Oh,
job with
wow.
staff.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
They see a huge
I was all
potential
but
in you.
dead.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was dead. And like I say, I'm full of life today. I don't got to look forward to my own funeral.
Hmm.
So
And
to
that's
speak, I had
that's
my own
sad
songs
that you
picked
would
out that I
think
wanted to
that
play. I
you have
knew
to
what I
think
wanted to
about,
wear.
right? It's sad that you have to think about your own funeral, though.
Yeah,
But
but
that if you stay on that path, that's exactly what would
yeah,
happen. Hmm. Wow, that's powerful.
it's the harsh truth of the addiction,
Hmm.
you know, and
What
and
does
I
it
was
do to your
prepared to die.
family to be?
Oh man, it did, when we're using, we think we only hurt ourselves. Oh, it's my life. I'm only hurting me. But truthfully, you hurt anybody that loves you. If you got a wife or kids or anything, they see us. And I got four small children. And my oldest girl, she's old enough to know. She's 8.
Hmm.
So she's seen things that, she
Well,
shouldn't have
she's at the
seen,
age
so to
you were
speak.
when you first started using.
Yeah. So, yeah. And kids are like a sponge. So they take everything in and absorb it. And my kids, I honestly think they're all at a wild streak. And I honestly think it's my fault because of they seen daddy raise a lot of Cain.
Hmm.
So, and I can't blame nobody but myself for it. But like I say, all I can do now is right my wrongs and move forward, and pray about it and talk to God because you got to build that relationship with Him if you want to be sober,
I agree.
and
Hmm.
it says in the big book, it ain't even got to be my God. My God is Jesus Christ. But to anybody who's watching us suffer and find a God of your own understanding, it don't have to be just find some kind of higher power and build that spiritual foundation. That way, that's the only way you're gonna do it. And a lot of people, the big book was wrote in the 30s. I want to say it was published in like 1938, 37, and it's worked billions and billions of people. So if it's worked for all those people, it's got to work for us. And I've actually started following the steps of that book, and it's actually working. But like I say, when it comes to my wife, she is truly what saved me. Because if she would have walked out and left, I probably wouldn't be sitting
Mm-hmm.
here doing this interview. And she she doesn't use, she don't smoke cigarettes, she don't do nothing. So for her, I really destroyed her, so to speak, because she was a calm, quiet. She didn't really touch when I got with her, but now she tells you everything that comes across that little head. And it's
Mm-hmm.
my fault. I put it in her because I woke her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Let me get $20 and
Mm-hmm.
keys so I can go. And that's stuff I'm not proud of, but that's stuff I also got to live with. And
Right.
like I say, she has been so good. And my dad's even cried to me before. He was like, dude, he said, when are you going to stop this? I said, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I like, ain't nothing wrong with me. And I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. So he looked at me one day, he was crying. Me and him were riding home from work one day. He was teared up crying, and Daddy don't cry much. And he looked at me, he said, boy, I got one question for you. What you want to be buried in, street clothes or a tuxedo?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of dawned on me, like, and that's when I did start planning my own funeral because I was gonna die. If I hadn't stopped, I was gonna die.
Wow.
And they put fentanyl in everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing about it. Even though I knew I was gonna die, I could possibly die with the next shot. I still couldn't stop. Like I didn't want to be sick, so I done whatever it took, any means necessary. I fix.
Right.
And sad, it's misery. It's complete misery. At first, it starts off with fun, but once you go to missing meals and you'd rather have dope than eat, that's when you're really unmanageable.
Well, 100
Uh,
pounds is very, very low weight for a man.
Yeah, 6 foot.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, like I say, and
So now how long will you be at this program?
the program's 6 months to graduate, but seeing how I'm working here now, however long God says stay for, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing too. I had to get in the passenger seat completely and give my will to God,
Mm-hmm.
because if I drive, it's a train wreck.
So at the age of 7, were drugs just ready for you? I mean, how did you have access or even think about drugs at the age of 7?
Truthfully, I started smoking weed with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not only that, where I come from, it's easy to get. Like Robeson County, North Carolina, is a bad place for drugs. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter who you are, where it don't matter what your background is, you can find it easy. Like I had a lot of cousins who smoked weed. I had a lot of friends who smoked weed. So it was just like a normal thing, which I didn't think it was going to destroy my life at that time.
And then weed turned into bigger, harder substances.
Yeah,
Right.
it all starts off with weed.
Yeah.
And now I understand because before I'd go to rehabs and I get clean and well, when I come home, I'd figure, well, I can just smoke my weed, I'll be fine. And now I realize that I can't use anything, no kind of substance, no alcohol, no nothing because of, you know, the, there's something called allergic reaction. My allergic reaction is handcuffs, overdoses, and jail cells. That's my allergic reaction, drugs and alcohol. And well, and then another thing too is we got a phenomenal craving. And if I just put one substance in my body, I'm gonna start
Crave
craving,
more.
craving, craving.
Right.
Then my cravings is gonna be where it goes to heroin because nothing I do is gonna satisfy my needs.
And your
You know,
willpower is weak at that point.
yep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind plays tricks on you. And I do say idle hands is the devil's playground.
Right.
So if you're sitting around with a lot of time on your hands and you get inside your head, which is a dark place for us as addicts and alcoholics, you cannot get between your ears because it never turns out good.
Hmm.
And like I say, just to whoever's watching, just stay strong. You can do it because if I can do it, anybody can do it. I was spending $1,500 a week in heroin this last run. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
So you had to
and
have the income to be able to afford it.
yeah, I had to make good money or I was gonna die. When I say die, I mean like withdrawal, sick, hurting,
Hmm.
and the withdrawals get so bad to where if you don't got it, you can't work. And as soon as you find out you got money coming from whatever source you're getting it from, whether it be Cash App, grandma, or whoever, you have strength to get up and go get dope. But you can't get up and go to work.
Right.
So for me, if I didn't have at least $150 shot in the morning, I wasn't getting out of bed.
It's a
So
very expensive problem.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It started out as a $10 habit, $10 a day with the heroin, but then 2 years went by, I started shooting it, and then it was all downhill. Which it was all downhill from when I started smoking crack,
Hmm.
but it really went on a downhill spiral when I started with the heroin because I don't wish it on my worst enemy because it hurts, it sucks, and the bridges you burn just to get drugs is unreal.
What would you say is the worst drug out there?
Heroin and
Heroin.
meth,
Hmm.
those two kind of top the
Is
cake.
there different types of heroin?
Yeah, you got fentanyl heroin, which is white, it comes white. Then you got that brown heroin, which is actually heroin, and then
Hmm.
you got black tar. And the tar is potent. The brown stuff's all right, but when it comes to the fentanyl, you're playing with the devil. You're playing with death.
Easy to overdose on that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The day I overdosed on $10. And like I say, some people don't believe in God, you know, but I do know there's God for the simple fact the day that I overdosed, I went to the man's house, I got my drugs, and there's an old convenience store that's burned down in my hometown. And well, I stopped at this store and I fixed the shot up, I stick it in, I pull blood back and all, and something said, Tyler, go home. And usually I wouldn't listen to that, I'd just go ahead and do my dope. And well, so I crunk up the truck and I went home. And well, I was in the bathroom for like 5 minutes that day. And usually I'd sit in the bathroom at that time, 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, nobody bothered me. Well, my wife said she heard me lock the door and everything. I made sure I had the door locked. And she come in within less than 5 minutes and I was laid there purple. As soon as I pushed the plunger and it got to zero, I don't remember nothing. I just remember waking up with the ambulance in my house, the EMS in my house, like telling me I overdosed. And another thing about the powerlessness of the addiction is my daughter looks at me and she says, Daddy, what'd you do with that needle? Daddy, why wouldn't you wake up? And we were calling your name. And I felt like that big, big as a grain of sand. But it still wasn't enough for me to stop. Like, if you're trying to do it for somebody else, it don't work.
You have to
It
do it
won't
for
ever work.
yourself. Hmm.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
have to
love
want it.
yourself enough to do it, to want
Yeah,
it. Absolutely.
yeah. You gotta learn to love yourself and learn to forgive yourself for the things you've done. That's the hardest. And I mean, recovery, it's not easy. There's gonna be days. There's days when I'm not feeling like rah 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 recovery, you know, but I gotta push harder.
Right.
Because I was relentless to get drugs, so I gotta be relentless for my recovery. Because if I'm not working hard for recovery, I'm working hard on the relapse.
Hmm.
And like I say, just it feels amazing to start getting my energy back. I'm
That's
waking up
good.
before my alarm clock goes off. I'm gaining weight. I feel a lot better. And I know if I was to die tomorrow or tonight in my sleep, my family's not burying the junkie.
That's good.
They're burying the sober type. and that's a blessing in itself right there, just to be able to wake up sober.
Hmm.
Because life is too short to let a drug take it. You know, and I'm glad I've caught it at 26 instead of like 56 or 60 or something like that. I'm trying to
Now you
stop
can
it
make
early.
something of your life.
Yeah, I still got plenty of time. I'm not saying to anybody that's out there that's in their 50s or 60s, you still got life. Stop while you can, while you still got life, because you never know. Life's short. You never know when the day's gonna be your last. So,
Yeah, tomorrow's not promised, like you said.
yeah,
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tyler, for joining us today, and I appreciate your honesty and everything you've said. And don't hang up when I cut this off. We're going to visit a little bit more. But if anybody wants to get in touch with you to talk about addiction and this recovery place that you're at and how this works for sober living, how would they get in touch with you?
they can call me at 910-882-3144. That's my cell phone number. Anytime if you're suffering with drugs and alcohol, just call the number. It doesn't matter. I can help you get linked up with detox and help you get linked up with sober living. And trust me, give yourself a chance because it'll change your life. It has mine. You know,
Good.
and just take it one day at a time. That's all you can do. So,
That's true. Well, thanks again for your time. I appreciate it. And
oh yeah,
good luck in your adventure and moving forward, not backwards, and no more overdosing.
yeah, yeah. I ain't trying to do that again.
Alrighty.